everyone, this is Maria with mariascraftingcorner.com. Welcome to another paper crafting video. Hey Adrian, hey Carrie. I was trying to answer and say hello and how are you and all this good stuff, and for some odd reason I couldn't on my iPad. It was really acting weird. So there's that. So I'm hoping you guys are doing really well today. And we have a beautiful card. It's a simple card. Well, it's a easier fun fold that we're going to be doing today, and I'm going to be using some of the newer products in the new catalog. So I finally ordered something. I was so excited. I didn't order much, really. Most of the order I placed was cardstock, really white cardstock, and kind of like just bulking up before the prices rose. So that's what I had most. But I did order what I think is probably one of my favorite sweets from the annual catalog, which is called, and I forgot, of course, why would I remember something like that? Let me see. That's so funny. No, I have the paper here. It's called Beautiful Gallery, and it's really, really amazing. So if somebody can tell me if you can hear me okay, everything good. Hi, Anita, how are you? It sounds like everything is good on my end, but I just want to make sure. Because there was an update in the software, and for whatever reason, whenever there's an update, it seems like everything goes down south. So just let me know, please, if you can hear me and if everything is okay. So yeah, we're gonna be working with the Beautiful Gallery. I did not get the whole suite. I got parts of it. Again, I'm trying to be mindful of what I get. And okay, thank you, Adrian. And Carrie, I appreciate that. And so like I'm really excited about that. I did place an extra order with the extra rewards thing because there were a couple of things that I needed. And so I, just more, again, more of what I would call like the products, the products to help you move on. Oh, Anita, how exciting. How is your new house? I know Liz told me that you've moved and she sent me your address too. So I am hoping that is a nice change, and I bet it's nice to be closer to your sisters. So that'd be awesome. That's awesome. Now we know where to go for kind of like a retreat. It will be in Texas, since Kiwi is also in Texas. you know Anyways, I am glad, Anita, glad to hear. So a couple of things that we're going to talk about today is the ink colors. Have not really done any of that. I know most of you guys also go, to other demonstrator channels, and most likely you have all this information. I also know that a lot of the people that follow me here are all demonstrators. So but for those that are not, and for my clients, I just want to like mention all the ongoing issues with the cloud cover. Don't quote me. Anyways, that's part of what we're going to be talking today. And before I go any further, I did wanted to say that today's card, it was going to be something else, but I have to change it because I've been like getting old. That's my conclusion, is I'm getting old. So I guess, I don't know if you remember, a couple years back I broke my foot and it really didn't heal correctly, and so every so often it just hurts to be standing for a very long time, and so this weekend, for whatever reason, was really painful, and so I had to like not stand up a lot. And um I did do a lot of other things, but just standing, which is what you do when you're crafting, kind of was hard. And on top of that, like I mentioned, I have gardening, and we went to check some extra stuff for the garden. We got some extra plants. Some of them I could plant, and hold and behold, it's snowing, of course. I like had to go today and cover everything, and I'm like, gosh, I knew it. I knew it. I shouldn't have gone to plant anything, but okay. And I don't know if I told you guys last week we had a bear that got into our coop, killed 4 chickens. It was the whole shenanigans, and so we had to like go well kill 4 chickens. I think ended up killing only 3 chickens and a rooster. So we went and picked up the rooster, and my husband, had to like redo the entrance because freaking bear. Um, and on top of that all, like my kidneys started bothering me. So I think my body was telling me, you're abusing your poor body. Just chill for a minute. So I kind of chill through the weekend. Um, and so the card that we're going to do it today, I think I've seen it from a couple places. To be fully honest, I know Adrian is saying poor chickens. Yeah, it was quite a disastrous thing. I was so disappointed. Let me see. So I am making a card that I found out from. Ooh, why do I always forget her name? Is like Renat. It's somebody from Germany. I don't think she is a Stampin' Up demonstrator, but anyways, I was supposed to have these a little bit more organized today, and I didn't. So I do apologize for that. That is always a fun thing that happens in my world. Um, Let me try to bring it up so you guys know what I'm doing. And I know, and I think I've seen either these specifically or something similar at the in the demonstrator planning place, or however it's called. So I know this is probably something that some of you have already done or have, or at least you've already seen. But like I said, it was kind of within my ability to work today. And so let me see, guys. Sorry, guys, if you hear something. It's Miss Renat talking, which is quite funny. So let me sorry there about my reach. Let's go and change it to this other. I have a lot of things open, which is never in my best interest when I have that. Okay, I think, whoops. And again, you're hearing it. So it's Cards by Renat, that or Renate. I don't know how you pronounce that. And I don't know. Let me see if I can move this all the way so you can see the finished card, which is adorable. Her card is really adorable. Okay, I think I got it, guys. Let's see. Maybe, hopefully. It always happens. Not that one. Sorry. That is the card that we're going to be making today. It's hard to see, and I'm sorry. Hi, Sus. How are you? But anyways, that's the card and that's the channel. I will link the channel or this video down below for those that are interested in doing centimeters, because I don't include that. And so, just want you to be aware of that. Now, so today was the day for those of you that have been waiting for it. Today is the day that we finally got everything, or the new catalog launched, and the online exclusives. And oh my goodness, there is a lot of beautiful things. I just read Susie's rest of your message, and I'm sorry I'm interrupting, but she says she was in the greenhouse. That's going to be my next year investment. I decided I'm going to buy a greenhouse. Anyways, so today, we have a ton of new products, really beautiful things, really useful things. I am making my list to go and buy little by little, of course, and I am hoping, to get some of those beautiful products. I think one of the things I like the most is those banners. So they have a set of banners of banner dies, and I think it brings like 14 of them, and the biggest is like 5 by 7 or something. So it's a really big banner, and I'm just super excited about that, really. And there's again tons of other things that are out and about. The one of the new things is it's 2 new kits that we are getting. One is called the beautiful blue kit, and I forgot how these the yellow and bright colors is called. But that one, guys, I like them. I like them both very much. I like it because it had a little sloth in here. I don't know if you can see him, but I really like sloths. So that is kind of like right there in the area of my liking. And so anyways, that's coming, and I mean that's out already. Hi Elizabeth, how are you? And there's the last chance products. There are tons of things, beautiful things that are in very good discount, so make the most out of that. For example, I got some of the paper, the 12 by 12 paper, although I can remember if that was on sale. But anyways, thank you, Elizabeth, for sharing. And then don't forget that this is the coming paper pumpkin kit, and it is called Mountain Majesties. And like I've told you guys, totally on my radar because I just love mountains, and so it just reminds me of Colorado. So we'll see how that one comes. I am really missing making my paper pumpkin kit alternatives, so I may have to do something at least maybe once a month or something. We'll see how that goes. Okay, let me go to, if I make it, there it is, to the crafting table. No, it is good there. Okay, let's talk real quick about the ink colors, and again the new ink colors, and I know that most of you are demonstrators, so you don't know much about it, but these are the 4 of the ink colors we have. Let me bring the papers. So this one is really beautiful. It's called Strawberry Slush, Timid Tiger, Darling Duckling, and Secret Sea. And let me put this out of the way because I really don't need this here, making a mess. This is a cardstock. If you realize, we don't have the cloud cover, cloud clover, I think is what it is. Anyways, it's got one of those really intricate names that kill me. And which, by the way, I absolutely love this color. Both of these, so all the colors are really beautiful. But these 2 colors are like some of my favorite. I've come to the realization I really like blues with some gray in it. So like Misty Moonlight I really like, and Boho Blue I really like. They're colors that have a little bit of gray in it instead of the bright blues. But the whole story is, it looks like the famous color reacted. It had like a really rare reaction, as what they were saying, with the actual foam of the ink pad, of the big ink pad. And so they are not going to release these color in the big ink pad. Now there are options for you, and those are, you can get some of the ink spots and ink it with a refill, because that pad does not have a problem. So you can do that if you want it. And of course, the rest of the stuff is available. So the paper is available, the blends are available. There is ribbons. There are some bling, some beautiful bling, by the way. I got that one from the very few things I got. The bling was one of them. If I find it real quick, I'll show it to you, which, of course not, is rebellious. Okay, I should give it up. I'm very stubborn. So here it is. They came all messed up like that. I don't know why, like this kind of like were one on top of the other, but it's fine. They're going to work. But you can see how beautiful they are. They're shiny. So really beautiful, and I really like these colors. So but I just wanted to chat with you about that. There are options if you're interested in getting the ink. I didn't think it's such a big crazy idea. I mean, like big crazy problem, just to get the ink spots and the refill and fill it out. I know a lot of us get refills. Well, a lot of you. I don't have a whole lot of refills, honestly, but it's, you know, quite, it's the option. So today we're going to be using, like I said at the very beginning, the following products. Some of them are new. This is the Gallery Blooms, which belongs to the beautiful Gallery suite, which, like I said, my favorite. This one is the one we're going to be using today, and I colored this. I'll show you. It was quite a craziness to color it. I'm not sure really why. And then here are the dies. I really like the dies, guys. They are well, they have that dies for the flowers, but they also have some extra dies, and you know how much I like that. And then they have these, which creates the kind of like a frame for the for this, which works really well. If you've seen the paper from other demonstrators, it works really well with these paper, because guys, this paper is absolutely stunning. I am gonna have such a hard time using these because it's so beautiful, right? It's just one of my favorite papers. Let me show you. So probably my favorite is this one, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Well, no, I'm gonna tell you, I think I know what I'm going to do, because I have been, and if you follow me on Facebook, you know that I'm making all these like things in wood. And so I found, I don't have it here, I found a place that sells like kind of frames. So I was thinking you can make like a frame with this, and just leave it as a decoration. I just absolutely love these pieces. But again, they're just like all sorts of beautiful pieces. This one, they're all inspiring and gorgeous, and it just makes you want to be somewhere else, right? I don't know. It's just so beautiful. And the backs are also amazing because they're not busy, and you can reutilize them with so many things. Anyways, this is what we're going to be using today. And the suite also brings these, and this is not a 3D embossing folder, it's just a regular one, and it's called Damask Designs, and I use this too. So those are the things, the new things that we're going to be using. Like you could tell, this is, I want to say it's a double suite. I did not check my, I'm always supposed to do this homework and I don't, but I think it's a double suite. So there's an extra bundle that comes with the suite, and that has some you know, sentiments and whatnot. I did not get that. I am not sure if I'm going to get it. It was really beautiful, but again, just being mindful of everything I still have, and so I am not sure if I'm going to get it. But because of that, I have to use something, and you guys know how much I've used this. They wanted to say that it's one of my favorites. They are very easy. I like to have just something to die cut. It has a decent size, and anyways, we're going to be using these, which I know you guys know. So let's get started. So we are going to need two pieces, and some of them I have already folded and whatnot. I kind of like lost track. So this is the first variation I did from the other card that she made, and that is that I made like a regular card, so like an opening card. She just has one panel, and I figured if you do this, then eventually you're able to stand these up, and it's going to look really cool. So that's the first variation. So this case, guys, this is a piece of 10 1/4 by 5 1/8. And let me go back a tiny bit. I work with 3 different sizes. This is the size, the exact size that she used in there. So it's the exact translation from centimeters to inches. And honestly, I like the size because it's pretty nice. I want to say, let me make this short. So it's 6, let me see. Yeah, so it's 10 1/4 by 6. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna make sure I'm not lying to you. So yeah, 10 1/4 by 6 is the measurement. And so, and it's not exact now that I remember, because I think that her exact measurements were 10 1/4 by 5 7/8, and I just decided to push it a little bit to 6 and change a little bit the measurement so it will fit that that card base. So this is, by the way, one of the new 2-color cardstock. I bought a couple of them, partially because I like the workshops. I really like the workshops, and so and they, some of them were on sale. So anyways, I was trying to make the most out of the sales. So I got this one, and this one is scored at 5 1/8. So this is our first one. And again, I really like it. Now we are going to need 2 pieces of, let me look at my cheat sheet here, guys. 2 pieces of, so this is 5 1/8 by 6. So 2 of these, and this one, which I am so sorry, I already scored this. I don't know what I was thinking, but I can bring another one and we can do it together. Measures 6 by 7/8. So let me go back in here. No, not 6 by 7/8. I'm so sorry, guys. I had a lot of measurements because I did 3 different sizes, and so this is 7. So go back to this one. This is 5 1/8 by 6. So this one is correct, and you need 2 of this. So 5 1/8 by 6, and then this one is 5 1/8 by 7.5. That is what it is. So they are all the length, or the size of our card, and this is going to be a horizontal card, like that's going to open from the bottom, and so we needed to make them the exact length of this card. What happens is, if any variation that you make, you can do with that. So the other variation I did was 6 by 6, so it's a little bit bigger, but it everything is maintained the exact same thing except the length, right? And then the other one is a regular A2, which that one is not finished, but it's a regular A2 card, because I know a lot of you like it smaller. I just wanted to try several options, and that's where all that confusion in measurements came in. Now, don't forget that I will have all that in the PDF tutorial that will be linked later on to in here, and it will be on my blog, so you guys can download those and not paying attention to me saying all these crazy measurements. And I'm sorry about that. So like I said, we need, and this is already scored, but we're going to score it together because I want to show you there's nothing special about scoring, but we're going to score, this is at 2, and then we're going to score at 4. So this is simple to make and simple to alter because you're working just with kind of like two measurements. And then we're going to move to 4 3/4. Okay. And then we're going to go to 5.5 and score. So that's what we got here. Okay, so let me move this well because I may have misscored this, and that is not cool. Okay, let me move this there. I'm just going to give this a good score so I can check it out well. And the folding is pretty simple, so it goes mountain, mountain, and then valley, maybe, and this one goes mountain. And let me bring my bone folder. And while we push these back there. This is different kind of cardstock, remember that. So don't kind of like push too hard. We don't want it to like break or something. So there we go, and the last one. Okay, so this is these are the side panels. This is how this looks, and we're going to talk about it. But what I was trying to tell you is this panel and this panel measure the exact same thing, so you can make this in any variation, right? And then these two have to measure the same. So these are 2 inches each, and these are 3/4 of an inch, and this is just the edge flap. And so the, you know, it's again, it's pretty easy to make the kind of rearrangement of the measurements as needed, which is how I did the smaller one. So let me bring a little bit all the craziness I have here. So here is the other panel. Okay, so we have these 2 panels are exactly the same, and these are going to go in the edges of the card. Now the middle panel, and this one I had to use a regular card because I made a mistake and ran out of that paper, of course. Hi Becky, how are you? And I'm sorry I already scored these, but like I said, you'll have all that information. Hey Lisa, ooh, hi, how are you? Thank you for being here. These are also 2, so this is, you're scoring this one at 2. Let me check my cheat sheet here. So 2, 2, 3/4, 3.5, and then we move to 5.5, 6.25, and 7. And again, I'm sorry, I'm not scoring that with you. I don't know what happened to me that I got excited and started scoring and making things and realized that this was the card that I was doing today. So I got really excited there, but no big, no like, hey Kim, no crazy things. It's just 2, 2.25, no, 2 3/4, 3.5, 5.5, 6.25, and 7. Okay, so this piece is going to go like this, and this one goes in the center. So this is, give or take, how your card is going to look. It looks a whole lot better once we put it together. So I'm sorry about that craziness. Now let's go ahead and start adding the, that's the card, guys. That's all the explanation I need to do. Let's start adding the pieces to these cards. So like I mentioned, these are, for whatever reason, I lost some. Oh, that's not news, huh? So this is the paper we're going to be using. Again, I just fell in love with this paper. The green paper, what is it? Where are you? So is this paper. I absolutely love, you guys, if you've been here, you know this, right? Mossy Meadow is probably one of my favorite colors, and this combination of like white, I'm gonna bring this up here. So if you tell me this is Speck and Pie, this is the, I want to say it's probably either gray granite or it could be the clover, but just kind of like mix and match, looks grayish. I see, and of course, later on I realized it was not necessarily, but I see like a little of petal pink in here. Anyways, I just fell in love with this paper, guys, and that's what we're going to be using. And of course, because why not, I use gold foil to add these pieces. The last piece that we're going to be using, or the last piece of paper, is the Seasons of Elegance, which I just thought it just looks absolutely stunning with this paper. Actually, I was having a hard time because look how cool this looks. So if you put these like that, it really looks beautiful. Let's see, yeah, there you go. It really looks beautiful. Like I was in love with that. I just didn't want to use the Seasons of Elegance for that, but I was very, very tempted to do that. And so here's the next variation that we made from the person that made this card. And well, the first thing is, let me see, scissors. We are going to cut our friends. So as, oh, this is already cut, ha, you know, like cutting those score lines there real quick. The other thing is I'm gonna put these well together like this to see if it fits. I don't know, it happened in the other one I made for whatever reason, and we've talked about this quite often, you know, when it is the whole measurement, it kind of like gets bulky when you put it together. And it happened in the other one. I don't see this in here, but anyways, just in case. Okay, so two things that she did differently. What she did is she put this in, so the flap inside like this, and then once everything was glued, she added a panel inside like that. I thought that was far too complicated for me. So what I figured is I am going to use a panel in the inside, and yes, and it looks gorgeous. Believe me, it's worth it. It's worth the effort, and you know, use it. Anyways, I have all this paper and I have to use it, so I'm okay with that. So I figured you can add the panel at the beginning, and then there you go, and then add these on the outside instead of the inside of this panel here, and that way you just save yourself trying to get this inside. I am just not good with that kind of stuff, so that's one of the changes I did. And I decided to move to this situation here, and it's been working. So I don't know what the dealio is, but that is my new closer for this thing. So hopefully we don't have a whole lot of issues today. I used it quite a bit yesterday and it was not. I would say as much as possible in the inside of this panel, don't use something that has a lot of a directional pattern or pattern with a direction, because it can create confusion at some point when you're putting it together. And just trust me on that one. And I'm going to open these. So I have this on the inside and this is going to be the outside. And on the outside, we're going to decorate this one and these two. And as you can tell, I just saw your comment. Kiwi saying she's very surprised that I'm using gold. Me too. I was super surprised about that. So I am going to bring this one here. And we're going to hold it for a little bit, because the gold foil is always a little bit of, it's thicker, and so it's harder for it to glue correctly. And then we're going to put this one here. And what I decided is I want one up and one down. Don't ask me why. I just figured that that way I had like flowers in every direction. I don't know if that's a true statement, but that's what we're going to do in here. And let's go ahead and get that. And what we're going to do, guys, is I'm going to go real quick adding all these layers, because that was something I have been doing, and that way we have less issues with the glue getting dry. So anyway, so there we go. So I really like how this looks. Again, I think that once it's all put together, it's really going to look gorgeous between you and me, or I sure hope that's the truth. So anyways, this is how this is going to look. This is our first side panel. And we're going to close them together here in a minute. I'm just going to move to the rest of what we need to do. Now, this is the middle one. This one is going to be really easy to decorate, because I am using the frame for the middle. And so I realized that everything I'm going to put is going to cover this. So I am not going to put any layers in here, because it's all going to be covered. So it is called, Kiwi's asking for the name of the DSP. Going back, sorry. It is called Beautiful Gallery. And yeah, it's probably like crazy. It's one of my crazy beautiful things. So what I did, of course, I have the one from the middle, or from the inside, not the middle. And we are going to add these. And that will always be added to the last, not the last, to the edge panel, or the panel on the edge. Maybe. I'm supposed to be able to do this, huh? So I'm going to hold this for 1 second. Oh, you didn't get a catalog? I would have sent you mine. I'll send you mine, Kiwi. Don't worry about that. I don't need it. I love the catalog, but I'm like, yeah, it's a catalog, you know. And we're going to be using the same, all the same paper around. And so going back to what I was telling you, we're going to use, you know, flowers on the bottom and a little bit on the top, and then this one like this. I don't know. I just feel like that way we have flowers in every level kind of setting. And let's go ahead and add these. Um, let me hold this for 1 second. Like I said, they really, you know, the gold foil really is thick and it does tend to curl. So you know, of course I love using glue, guys. Obviously it has been my new change. Not new, but my change. Although in the new order that I placed, I did order a couple of Stampin' Seal Plus. I don't know, I got a little excited there. So we'll see if that pays off. But just in case, glue keeps being my best friend. Kiwi is saying that she likes the color scheme on these, and yes, Kiwi, I have to tell you, that's one of the things about this paper. It just has so much beautiful color combinations. And I'm going to say something because you guys know I'm a very straightforward and honest person. Um, Regarding these, and it is that I really like some of the paper, but I was not in love with some of the paper. So this is the one that I was like, I am going to have this. Like, this is, there's no negotiation in this one. The others are things that I can get, and I did get one extra, and I can show it to you later. um but it's not like, oh my god, I absolutely need to have that. I don't. And so I didn't get them yet, except that one. There are a couple of the workshops that are available now, today, that are working, that are okay. There's a couple of the workshops that are live today. There were from the online exclusives that I am going to definitely get, because again, I love my workshop. I think they work really well, and they bring some of the paper right in the end, like it or not. They make everything um, kind of like mix, right? So you have the workshop, the workshop also matches with something else from another suite or whatnot, and that is happening, right? So in this one too, so I am going to get that one. I have to say I'm very happy with that. I do love workshops. The scrapbooking is part of my excitement. And actually, guys, I don't know, last week, I think this Friday was scrapbooking day. Um, and Stampin' Up had a, how's it called? A like special scrapping book thing. And I think it was just for demonstrators. Um, and I was watching it on YouTube, right? It was live, and I was watching it, and I was super excited because, again, I really like it. And I won paper. I actually won the workshop for the wildflower celebration, I think is how it's called. So that one that I've used, it has gold and blue and pretty and pink. Oh my goodness, I was the happiest person. I couldn't believe I had won anything, which I rarely ever do. Like, I really have bad luck on that. I guess God is like, you have a nice life, you have, you don't need to win anything. But no matter what, I was super excited. And once I contact Stampin' Up, I will see if they send it. I'm hoping they will, but of course I will see if they send it. And once they do, I will give that away here in the channel for those that are here or that come. And I am thinking that's probably a good gift for in a couple of weeks when I receive it. So I'm very excited about that. So I'm gonna give my blessing to somebody else. Okay, let me put my big thing here. And again, that's what's been working really well, guys. It is how it is. It's what it is. And now you see this we are going to add all this in here. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to glue this together. I am going to use the thick tear and tape, and I actually can see that this one is one. See how this, let me try to close this. This is hard to close. You can see that it's bubbling in here. So I'm just going to cut real quick, like in 1/16 of an inch. I'm sorry for the noise, but that will make it a little bit easier. So it to fold, and I know that it already has the other thing, but again, that's not going to be totally visible because it's going to be inside. And I think I cut it. Oh yeah, it is here. There it goes. But that way there's no bubbling, right? Like it just fits better. So let's go ahead and bring these, and it's it folds pretty well, but all I do is just make this, just fold it all together, right? So it sits where it needs to sit and close it. And then there's just no big issue with it. Now, the opening part needs to go at the edge. So I don't want to, is opening part the right way to say? So this area that is folded needs to go towards the edge. That looks like an accordion. So that is important to know, because when you are putting the paper, you have to make sure that it, you know, in this case it's different because we don't have an higher, like an up and a down necessarily in the flowers, right? Like maybe you could say that that's up and down, but you see what I'm saying? Like if I put it this way, it's going to look odd. So you have to pay a lot of attention on what you put on the sides too, and the direction of them. Seems like it's going to be the one that's going to work. I'm going to fold these for whatever reason. This is folding okay. I don't know why one does and one doesn't, but that is fine. And I know I've been using these quite a bit lately compared to the regular tear and tape. I love them both. I just like that this one is a little thicker and we are working with a bigger area. Does that kind of make sense, right? That you do. So before pushing these, I'm folding it all together. So these folds exactly where it needs to fold. And there we go. So these two go there, and we're going to do the same thing here. Okay, maybe. Sorry about all the noise. Oh, wait. I'm going to fold these and make sure that it fits well. It does. I don't think I need to take the extra in here. So I'm just going to put these, and I am putting all these tear and tapes towards the edge of the panel. So let me show you up close. So it's right next towards the edge. Really doesn't have to be like, you know, really it has to be. What I was going to say is you don't need to worry a whole lot, because this is going to be covered and it's going to go against the card base. But just in case, right, it makes sense to just do it slowly. And again, what I'm doing here is I'm closing or putting together the first side. So in this case is the right side, right, before even gluing anything. And once everything is like set up, I am gluing that. And there we go. And I know that looks very, what be the name, very naked without anything, but you'll see it. Look, it's going to look beautiful. Let me move that there. So now I did find out that the easiest way to do this is putting the edges first. And so, and this is what I was saying. So for example, for this one, and although I know, you know, glue is very good and whatever, I just feel much more confident with the tear and tape, guys. And so the tear and tape and the thicker one. Otherwise, we will be peeling what, like 5 pieces per side, right? Well, these just uses 3 pieces. So I'm just putting 3 so we have a really good hold. And let me see. And so that's the next step. Let me move that out of the way. Is, so remember, this is the front. This is going to open this. I just have to make that, keep that in mind. This is the top. And this was actually one of the hardest parts for me, was putting, like, aligning these together, because these are not inside. So when they are inside, you kind of have like a way to make sure that it's aligned within the perimeter, if that makes sense. But in this case, it doesn't. You have to align it to it. And I was like, I kind of freaked out every single time. So that was to me like the hardest. I want to make sure that all my measurements are okay. I think they are. See, and this one actually, it's a little puffy here, but nothing we can do now. It seems like they are, this is measured well. I think all the smaller one, I had more, what would be the word, it was a little tighter when I was putting it together, and I thought it was not going to go, like it was not going to fit, but it did. So that's the good news. Okay. And like I said, all those measurement guides are going to be included in the PDF tutorial. So you have the 3 measurements. So you'll have this one that we said it was 6 by 5 and an eighth. Then we have a 6 by 6, and we have a regular 5.5 by 4.25. So you have all those measurements just to play with them as much as you feel like you want to. Okay, so I'm going to go back. So remember, the accordion area goes towards the edge, and making sure I'm putting this right, aligning. So what I found out easier is aligning one corner and kind of like moving. See, like I can see it's not, no, it did. So there we go. This, no, it didn't go. This is very sad because it didn't go well. So I'm going to try to make this as best as possible. Wish me luck, guys. Wish me some luck. Thankfully, nothing's getting ruined. Wow, that was good luck, guys. So not only look at the corner, but look at these, right, at the top. So you make sure that it is not moving and still moving. Man, not sure why the other one came so easy and this one is not. See what I was saying? That was by far the area I struggled the most. So I'm trying this other approach. Let's see if this works. So again, aligning those 2 corners. I'm not pushing. I'm making sure that it looks like it's aligned there, and we made it. Phew. Okay, there we go. And now the center will just go here. Now you guys can see it fits. And so we're going to add, I'm just going to add a couple pieces instead of 3. This is not going to move a whole lot. I think that is the ones in the middle that moves a lot more. But okay. And of course, with this beautiful paper, the truth is there's not a whole lot you need to do for these. That's what I feel. There. Okay. So the center is very easy to. So there you go. That is the card. So see what I was saying, how beautiful it looks when it's finished. It just really looks so pretty. And then you have, I made that so you can put, you know, have an area to write and whatever. And also it will stand. And then you'll be able to see it like this. And I just think that it's worth it because you can create so many beautiful things with this that it makes sense that it can't stand, right? Okay, so the other thing I did is I made, so this is the frame that we were talking about. I actually had to chop it a tiny bit here. You can probably see it there because it did not fit, like it was a little bigger. I think it measured in the end like 5.25, and the length of the card is 5 1/8, and so I had to cut a little bit. So what I did is I cut 1/8 on each side. And then I cut the same, right? Just like did the same process, but I cut, I want to say it was 3, not 3/8, probably like 3/16 off each side so we can have like a decoration in here. And I just think that these look so beautiful together, guys. Um, so let's go ahead and add these. And I'm going to say something that you probably know, and it is that I really think that mossy meadow and gold is such a beautiful color combination. Oh, I'm so glad you like it, Carrie. So, okay, so now we're going to center these friend and put it in here, and that way you have a decorative frame instead of just um, the plain mossy meadow. And then you know me, guys, I'm like lazy. So I just got one of the dies. These are the decal dies, and run it through the embossing and cut as as much as it needed for it to fit. So it fit, as you kids can tell, it fit on the top and on the bottom. And I just had to chop a tiny bit in there. So that happened. And I'm actually going to do this real quick, guys, so I can see. Okay, so we're going to do, I'm going to bring, I'm thinking what I want to bring. So I'm just going to bring the one that is 1/8 of an inch. Oh, thank you, Becky, and thank you, Anita. I'm so glad you guys like it. Because I really like, again, nothing new. I really like using these. And I just don't know how much we have left once we put it, like, I guess how much extra I have on the edges. And so let's go with the safe option, which is the smaller option, because this is going to be floating. So yeah, we just want to make sure. And okay, let's go and take these backings. Maybe, there we go. Whoops. You can probably use glue here. I am thinking there was enough space to use the 1/4 of an inch. I'm just being preemptive because I don't want to have to do a whole lot. But then again, here is that beautiful embossing. Isn't that just gorgeous? And I'm just going to make sure that this covers everything. And whoops, the first thing I'm going to do is make sure in here that it's centered on both sides. I don't know if that makes sense. So that I'm making sure that it actually, there's white on both ends. And now I'm making sure that it's inside the frame, bottom line. And now we turn it, and this is what we have. You can be more, like, to keep it more finished and put an extra piece of paper here if you wanted. I just didn't think it was a good idea, but that is going to go there, and that just looks so beautiful, guys. And I am glad that my idea did look good. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the flower and how I colored it. And yes, guys, by the way, I used a lot of extra stuff in here because I was trying to resemble the flowers, and it was hard, hard, hard to do it. So this is the main flower. Those are the roses, and I use a color combination of crumb cake blends, and I have in here. So I have crumb cake blends, and then I used these W. So I used 2 Copics W00 and then the YR30, because these are very, very, very light, right? And so they allow me to play a little bit with. Let me bring this up here. You can see a little bit of yellow there, and then kind of being able to do the edges a little whiter, right? Otherwise it would have been a harder color, because the crumb cake still has, even the light one has color in it. And so let me see. I used this one, and I'll tell you why, because it was lighter. I used the Long Font Premium ink pad for this one, but if you can probably tell, but then I emboss it in clear embossing powder, because I was having a lot of issues with the coloring. So let me show you here so you can see. So this one was this one was crumb cake. I want to say this one was gray granite. I also have here one in, this one is also embossed. This one was basic beige. And this one in basic beige, really like it, but I like the other one was a little lighter, and I like that a little better. And so if you see here, maybe because there's like the lines are thicker, like when I was coloring it, how do you say, kind of dissolve? I don't know how you say it, but you can tell there that it would not keep the lines defined, right? And so that looked awful. Like you can see, I tried this one, I'm like, well, maybe it's a crumb cake, right? And then I try here and I was like, oh gosh, that's not working either. So I don't know really why it did this. And again, you can see there's no definition in there. And I just decided, okay, I'm not going to do that. So my first attempt actually was this one, because of course I embossed it in, maybe I'm gonna see if I can get it. Sorry about my reach. I embossed it in gold. You can see it there. But then I use a lot more petal pink. I got real excited there with the petal pink, and it looks gorgeous, but then it just didn't match, right? It didn't match the paper. After that, it just didn't match the paper. I don't know. It's harder to see because it's embossed in gold, but there you go. Like it just was a little more warm than the actual roses in the paper, so I had to go back to the coloring table. You guys can tell I had to work a lot in here, and I started this one, and I still used a lot of yellow in here, you can tell, and I did this too so you can see the comparison. So this includes a lot more of that YR30, and this one just has like a hint of it, and then this one really match much better, you know, the tones in the card. So this was the end result. And then again, guys, you know I use pencils, so I used a combination. All of these are Prisma pencils, and I am sorry about that, but you know, kind of, I used these, the PC 1021, it's called Jade Green, to kind of create. It was like my goal was kind of creating these, you know, this in this depth in that kind of gray greenish color, and I think it worked really well. Let me see, like this works, like it really looks so good and so similar. Hi Ray, how are you? Good morning. So similar to the flowers in there. So this is the one I use for that, and then I use a combination of these. It's called Sandbar Brown, which is the Prismacolor 1094. And this one, which I don't know which number it is because it does not have a number. So it came with my Prisma thing, but I don't know what's the name of the color. But it's a very light beige. Um, very similar to the, you know, let me show you here. Very similar to crumb cake, really. Look at that. At least in the blends. So anyways, that is all I did for this. And Jill is asking, where is the flower from? The flower is from these bundle, and it's called Gallery Blooms. It's new from Stampin'Up, dropped in today. Okay, and so bottom line, that's all I did. It took me like 5 attempts to get this ready. But in the end, I was very, it's hard to see. There you go. I was very pleased with it. I fell in love with it. It took me quite a bit, but we managed to get there. And I did cut a couple of extra of the foliage there just to put some, you know, a little bit of extra interest in here. Maybe one in there and one in here. something along those lines. Just there's enough space in the white, and it just looks so beautiful. And the last thing, like I said, I was using the wanted to say dies, and the base is mossy meadow, and I use the same Seasons of Elegant paper, and we're going to put something like that. And I absolutely love this card. Okay, let me remove all my coloring tools. The flowers, not the flowers, the leaves were Mossy Meadow combo, and I actually used for that one the Old Olive to the pencil to look some clarity. It's harder. It's much harder. Oh, good point, Becky. Really good one for Mother's Day. It's much harder to color when you are coloring on embossed images. I don't know if that happens to you, but I was like, holy moly, this is rough. I'm having a hard time here. So anyways, we're going to add here. I'm going to bring my flower in there. There it goes. And I'm just going to bring my 2 greenery pieces that we are going to, I think, I'm going to put this one in here. Just kind of like that. Oops, I'm seeing something here. I don't know. I'm glad I saw it before I glue everything. It has a thing there. Not totally, didn't take those out. So back to the back to these pieces. So again, this one goes here in the middle, and then I'm just going to bring one of these here in the back, and it doesn't matter if it goes out because you have enough space. And then we're going to bring the other one, the smaller one, on the lower side of the flower, somewhere there. Yeah, there it goes. And now we're just going to add, I'm not going to add dimensionals to it. The card itself, it's thick, so I don't think it needs any more popping. Maybe. There we go. Maybe. And then we're going to bring our happy birthday. And by the way, and just so you all know, my mom is in Costa Rica, so I don't celebrate her Mother's Day here. But I do want to let you know that also it's another day. So Mother Day in Costa Rica is August 15th. Need to put this a little higher. And remember, this is the actual length of the card, so this needs to go higher no matter what. It can go off on the side, but not on the bottom. So I'm just going to put it a little bit off in there. And now this is very easy because we're going to put glue all over here. And that was a lot of glue and a lot of mess I made, but that's fine. And thankfully these, like, again, it fits together. So all I'm making sure, I'm putting these like this so I can like really see that it's centered. It is a little bit harder to see without putting my big head, but I am using the image in there. And now I'm going to push. And now that I push, I can say it's fairly centered, right? There we go. Oh my goodness, I absolutely love this card. It happens, guys. And so, and again, you still have an area here to do this. It will, like, it's harder because this is thick, right, in the front. But I just think this is gorgeous, 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 guys. What you guys think? I think we did a really good job here at trying to mimic the flowers. It's very hard. I have to tell you, without making a lot of mistakes, as you guys could see. Okay, so this is our our card today. I did get out some bling. Let me move all my crazy stuff in here. Sorry. And I did bring out a couple of things. So the first thing I brought was this one, but I think it deserves something more elegant, so that's not going to do. I do like this one, and one of the reasons why I like it is because this will look really good against the white. So these are retired ones. These were opaque. I don't think this is the right name, but anyways, these are retired. And then the other option that I was thinking of was having these are the iridescent foil gems. Jeez. And then I like it because they're transparent, right, or clear, and they have like some gold in it. The only thing that I don't like is it has harder to see, but if you've seen these, they have like hints of like magenta, like pink, and that's why I'm like debating on this one. And then why I think I'm gonna go with this. Oh, yeah. I am so glad you like it, Elizabeth and Anita. And Carrie saying it would be also a good one for a gift, for a wedding. And I agree with that. So I'm just going to bring a few of these elements in here. I actually, I can be so, okay. So there's that. It didn't come. I swear I know how to put this. I know sometimes it doesn't look like I do. Um, and I'm going to bring another one like right there. I actually really, really like the, this would be crumb cake, I think, color in here. Better because I think it just softens, really softens all the gold, right? Okay, whew, we made it. So let me show you the other two cards. Let me show you the one that's finished first. And this is the 6x6. And so this was a whole thing, guys, because I'm like, I have to use this paper, but I'm really struggling because I don't know what to mix it with. And then I remember that I had this plaid from a retired pack from I don't know how old ago. And I'm like, oh, that really matches. And I think they're the same color. They're the same. I'm trying to remember which color it is. Anyways, they do match the same. I want to say it's not Swiss Sorbet, it's the other one. Anyways, so I just really like this one too. I worked hard with this one because I was really struggling with the colors. I use in the inside. There you go. And it looks so beautiful in the inside with some that paper is just a little bit of like a little strip that comes in the 4x4, and I just really like how this looks. These are two pieces. It's the same piece from one of the stickers. These are some of the ephemera pack that it comes and the funny little lamb there. And I just thought it's just so cute, right? I like the colors very much now. When I was working on it, it's like, oh my goodness, I'm not liking these. I'm not sure I like it. And then I was able to like put some extra in here. But yeah, it was a struggle, but once it was finished, I was pleased with it. Um, this kind of, I don't know. I was struggling with it. So, but finished, I like it and I'm happy with it. This last one, which I just made today, so this is very fast to make a card, is the small one. And I am using the little latte. Okay, the latte DSP, but it's not finished. So my thought is I'm going to put some of the paper. It is some of those. Just hand cut some of them, put them here. I'm not sure how I'm going to decorate it yet, but I just wanted to make it so you could see the sizes. So this is the 5.5 by 4.25. This is 6x6, and this is the, I guess, the one in the middle. So yeah, this one will still need to finish it. It's not finished, obviously, but at least I think it's just so you guys have an idea of how they look. I really like this one, and that's when I was like, oh no, it makes sense to have like the opening so you can stand it, and I just think it because like the other thing, there's a bundle in the new catalog that has like a little boat, and I was like, oh my god, that would look so awesome for like a retirement one, and put it like that and have it just looks so beautiful. So all in all, I was very pleased with this one in spite of all my struggles while I was making it because I was so not sure of what I wanted. But I just really wanted to use this this paper. I'm like, I have to figure out how to use it. And it really matches well with this plaid in here. So, right? And then, guys, I really like this one. I know it's very shimmery, but and the advantage is that obviously you don't need to do anything. What I mean to say is you don't need to tie it because it's just like a pop-up, and so it will come back from the envelope as like is. But this, like again, this is super cool because it's going to stand and it just looks so beautiful. And then you can see from there how beautiful the paper in the inside looks. So anyways, we made it, guys. Woohoo! It's only an hour and 10 minutes. We'll have to hang out now for another 20 minutes. I even had, like, it was so funny because I saw this. Somebody had these in one of the videos. I think it was the same lady. And I'm like, oh, I have this. I'm like, oh, I can, like, add that one there or something. But I'm like, no, that's too much. I don't need to add anything else. But anyways, these are the cards. I am so glad that you are here, and I am glad that you like them. Thank you, Becky, and thank you, Kiwi, and Jill, and Adrian. I am glad that you like the variety. Like I said, all those measurements, guys, will be included in the PDF tutorial that will be ready probably tomorrow, because I have to take the pictures and edit the thing. I still have the tutorial is pretty much done and the post too, but at least there we go. Sorry, it was kind of messy, but at least but I still have to take the pictures and edit them and whatever, and that takes time. So it will be most likely ready tomorrow. And just in case, the live goes on Tuesday, so I'm talking about Wednesday the 7th. But all in all, I'm super pleased with the cards. And like, if you're here for the replay, let me know what you think and which one do you like better and which one do you see yourself using. I know this one, the 6x6, is a little bigger. Let me move this so you can see it. But I think that it really, like, it's almost like a decorative gift. Thank you, Kiwi. I know I always forget to say, please like and subscribe, guys. If you have not subscribed, I appreciate if you do. I'm pushing to see if we manage to get to the 5,000. It's difficult for me to grow. I know. It's just, I don't know why. But it's a slow growth. It's growth, but we have a lot of fun, which is what matters. And if you have any questions about the new products, the whole issue with the ink, and any of that, please let me know. I will gladly let you know, help as much as I can. I have to. It's cloud cover. Cloud cover. I thought it was cloud clover. Whatever, Maria. Anyways, that's the name of it because I forgot the name. I was making the name up. I was saying, let me know. Send me an email to mariascraftingcorner.com. Kiwi, I will send you that. Sorry, the catalog I will send you so you can have it. I really, it's a funny thing. At the beginning, I was like, oh my God, I really need to use the catalog and whatever. And then I like paper a lot, but when it comes to using the website, I feel more comfortable using the website. So for whatever reason, I think they've done a really good job at updating the website over and over again to make it very, very, very user friendly. So that's part of it. And okay, we made it, guys. Becky, would you send me an email? Let me change right here. Let me do this. Sorry, guys. Okay, that's my email, Becky. Would you send me an email to that email with the with your address, and I will send it. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed today. It was a pleasure being with you, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Okay, cool. Thank you, Becky. Guys, thank you for being here. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I hope you guys have the rest of your week. If you need anything, let me know. I am trying to figure out where my mouse went. But I am here for whatever you need, and I hope God bless you all and have a wonderful rest of your evening. Bye bye, guys.